How's everybody doing today? I want to read from a website that I've been checking out the last few months. It's called Before It's News, and it's quite sensationalistic. I don't, believe everything straightforward in there. You have to take everything with a grain of salt. But they have an article that they posted called 21 Signs that the Global Economic Crisis is About to Go to a Whole New Level. And that's from Sunday, I guess, that it was originally posted. I'm going to just go over this because they're trying to connect the dots, and let's just consider each one of these points. The first one that they list is that Bank of Israel Governor Stanley Fischer says that the global economy is awfully close to recession. Now something just happened. I don't know. I have no idea why the page just reloaded. That was real stupid. That was real suspicious. The page reloaded. How does a page just reload on its own? Oh, I see. So, you know what? Now I'm going to have to look at the source code here on Before It's News. Let's check it out here. I'm looking at it. Well, it's going to take me a while to go through here. Search bar, form action, Google search, menu center, first menu. Insert random number here. Search badges. Story wrapper, contributor span ID, like contributor count. Alright, it's going to take me a while to go through their source code. But let's open on the number one point here, which I don't know how they list it, whether it's chronological or importance-wise. Number one is the Bank of Israel Governor. So they have it linked, and I'm going to open a new tab. Don't know what it is yet. Oh, Bloomberg. So their reference is Bloomberg site, and the title on that is Global Distress 3.0 Looms as Emerging Markets Falter. Alright, and Europe, they've got Euro gains, China impact, rebalancing, too fast, currency wars. Here they have way down the article, like in the 10th paragraph, well, rather the 5th paragraph, it says Fischer's take. And I'm reading it, and it says nothing about Fischer here. Well, they said Fischer was Bernanke's thesis advisor. The IMF former number 2 official said tying the program to reducing unemployment adds to the credibility of Fed measures. You know what? There's nothing in the article here under Fischer that says that Fischer is with the Israeli bank. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions here, but why they reference this article that doesn't even he's former number 2. Alright, so Before It's News is pretty bogus. Let's just go through this really quick here. Number 2, it was announced last week that the unemployment rate in Greece has reached an all-time high of 25.1%. Unemployment among those 24 years or younger is now more than 54%. So I'd like to see the full graphs on that one, the demographics. Back in April 2010, the unemployment rate in Greece was only sitting at 11.8%. Alright, so that's saying just about 2.5 years, the rate has doubled, or you could just say it like this: the amount of people that are unemployed is now twice as many, of whatever age they are, but they are all just counting Greek citizens. This is a Greece number. Okay, that's a sign. I mean, we do know that Greece is a sign. Greece is not getting any better, and the unrest will increase because of that. The people have to survive, and if they have no way to survive off of the system, they're going to do whatever it takes. And then they're also going to protest and try to use um, stressful measures, violent measures to get what they need. This is going to be an equalization of the society. And they spill out into other borders in the EU. That's perfectly predictable. Number 3, the IMF is warning that Greek debt may have to be restructured yet again. Alright, so and each one of these points is a reference because they got it highlighted. It's a hot link, and you can go to another article. 21 points is just, a phenomenal mountain that they're making out of a molehill. So each one of them's a molehill, and they're making it into a mountain. See, just by piling everything up and overwhelming people. So there's 2 points that I really want to bring to you out there, you armchair philosophers, which probably one of them. Sorry about the chaos in the studio. It's just really, it'll get better, I promise you, because we have things that we're going to be doing to change the situation here. But I want to say that, first of all, you can't be completely pessimistic, and you can't be completely optimistic either. And the reason for that is that you want to strike a balance to understand where things are going in the world. You want to strike a balance as far as finding out the reality. Finding out the reality means that you are going to say that there's some kind of a force out in the universe or in our world that will just keep everything in stasis, even though you've got these hot spots where things are having to equalize. And if you focus on all of them, like all these 21 points that they bring up in the article, you're not going to have an accurate view of what's happening overall. So that these fear mongers, these people that are always saying the sky is falling, and there's a lot of them now, because now they're able to come out of the woodwork. And if the pessimism just runs rampant and it's able to influence a whole bunch of people, that can cause a panic. In fact, that's what they say, that the powers that be, the Rothschilds. Let me give you an interesting anecdote here, or a story from the past. When Napoleon was fighting the war in Europe, and communications were slower then, the system was different. They didn't have all of the modern things that we have now. They didn't even have the Industrial Revolution yet. So the Battle of Waterloo came, and it's not like you're going to know about it right away if you're in another part of the world. For example, if you're in the United States, which, there was still some people, there was already some people there, and the United States was newly formed, and Washington had been president, and I think they were on their second president. It was Adams, or they were on their third president, Jefferson. Correct me if I'm wrong. But for news to travel, it takes the speed of physical travel itself for somebody to come and tell you. Everything was by word of mouth. In other words, there's the strict, straight-up word of mouth from their mouth into your ear. Or if they put it on a piece of paper, but that piece of paper still has to travel physically with someone carrying it. There was no wireless, there was no telecommunications. How long would it take for the news to travel to England? At least a day or more. You know, it's not an hour. So when the Battle of Waterloo was said to be lost, and Napoleon's whole plan was going to have to be pushed aside, and it was going to go toward British sphere of influence, and basically put it in the power of the old system was being revamped, and Napoleon's new way. Forget about it. Forget that revolution. So the Rothschilds have a way of finding out and immediately knowing, just by super fast intelligence. For that time, it was considered super fast. And that day went to the stock exchange where they were trading in London. And he started unloading everything, as if your logical conclusion would be that the British and the rest of the powers had lost against Napoleon, and therefore everything was going to become worthless. So he was just selling it. He was selling it. And right then, the value was, you could call it medium. It wasn't high, it wasn't low compared to the whole scheme of things. It was medium. So he starts selling it off, causing a panic. The panic ensues because nobody really knows, and he's keeping a poker face. And all the Rothschilds kept poker face on this. So all of a sudden, this stuff just tanks out. This goes low. Everything is as low as it possibly can get because nobody wants it. They're just getting rid of it as quickly as possible. And then people were just holding on to whatever they couldn't dump, and it was considered worthless. So lo and behold, the next day, Rothschild goes around with his undercover people. You don't know that they're working for Rothschild, but he makes these anonymous or, covert. They're proxies, you could say, going around the market and saying, hey, you can't dump this. What are you going to sell it for? Oh, not even pennies on the dollar. We want it as cheap as you can possibly go because nobody will want it. So they buy it all up for nothing, for a fraction of the value that it was worth a day ago. And they just accumulate all of it. And then all of a sudden, when the news goes around that actually Napoleon lost, and the British and their system and their market is victorious, that extreme low bounced up to an even higher than it's ever been before. You could call it an extreme high. So you see, by this, if you understand, if you follow this whole story, and I'm just trying to explain it in layman's terms. They were able to cause a panic based on false. This is false flagging, this is dishonest, this is unethical, all of those things. Total pessimism causes somebody to get that rich fraudulently. And who can stop it? Nobody stood up to stop it, because now all of a sudden somebody wins the whole game. They have the money, now they're going to get the power. And they're very shifty, they're very cunning, and they hide it all. They hide it. They hide their gains. They hide what they did. They hide their motivations. Why am I bringing up this story? It's connected to what these people are doing right now. There's a lot of people right now who stand to gain a lot of money, and they want to put out information, and it's all over the interwebs. You search around on the World Wide Web, and you're going to find they're trying to dupe everyone, not only out of money, out of power and politics and influence and media. They're trying to dupe and swindle people out of not only their time with completely dishonest disinfo, they're trying to swindle and steal people's entire livelihood by causing these panics. That's why you can't believe anything at surface value. You have to take the time, and that's why I'm just making this. This is a long video that I'm making to explain. If you don't have the time for this, and if you think you know everything that I just said, then more power to you, you know? Maybe I should not do the video. But if you gain something from this, by this train of thought, you see, the power of the media is that somebody gets on that doesn't have any ulterior motives to just lay out truth as they've found it, as they have discovered the system to be rigged, manipulated. So let's go back to the article and read the last one. What's the last one? Number 21. When shipping companies start laying off workers, that is one of the best signs that economic activity is slowing down. That is why was so troubling when it was announced that FedEx is planning to get rid of several thousand workers over the coming months. According to AFP, its business is being hit by the global economic slowdown. I'm not sure what AFP is. It might be a press, a conglomeration of their news organs. So let me open up the article here. Oh. It's on another website called SHTF Plan. And their slogan says, "Don't say we didn't warn you." The full article here is dated October 11th from a writer, Max Slavo. You know, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure whether that's legit. If you have anything to say about it, or if you've heard anything about these news, then write it in. In conclusion, strike a balance between the atmosphere of pessimism and the atmosphere of optimism, and somehow you're going to figure out really what's going on, and that's what should happen.